It's interesting that a few courthouses in the country have what I call a special dispensation from their community, in the sense that this really is seen as a community center, not a working government building. Its mission is to really provide the conservation and preservation element of the care and stewardship of the building.
It is largely responsible for and initiated the conservation of the ceiling in the grand archway, the recreation of the Spirit of the Ocean fountain. They helped with the creation of the courthouse clock gallery, and now, of course, the room we're in, the mural room, having it being conserved, restored, and brought back to life as well.
We set about a restoration project to replace the Spirit of the Ocean's fountain because essentially it was melting from the inside.
The Slippery Rock Ranch gave us the stone, which was estimated to be worth $100,000, and I think you will agree that it's a perfect replica of what was there before.
It looks exactly as it was done originally when E. Catherine carved it in 1929. That project cost approximately $800,000.
Some of the funds came from the county. The county gave about $170,000. The city gave $25,000, and all of the rest came from private, either foundations or private contributors.
The murals were painted in 1929, and the ceiling was painted at the same time in 1929.
It's pretty much the history of Santa Barbara and California. It was painted by a gentleman named Dan Sayer Grossbeck, who was a Hollywood set designer and worked for CCB DeMille and other movie studios. He painted with a very romanticized fashion, but did a beautiful job of telling our history, beginning with the Chumash Indians, the arrival of Juan Rodriguez Cabrillo, the Spanish period, then the Mexican period, then the beginning of the Americans coming into the area, which is illustrated by a beautiful eagle on the back wall behind me, and it continues around the room. It gives examples of our economic drive at the time with minerals, stock, and agriculture. All beautifully done, all sharing images that tell a very beautiful story of our history in Santa Barbara and California.
This is probably, other than the building itself, this is probably the most well-known and the most visited room in the building. I mean, it is constantly being visited, walked around, photographed, reserved for events. It's unbelievable how important this room is. And as I say, now that the murals have been conserved and we can see the original colors glowing back at us, and when we get lighting on it, I think it's going to be even a more popular venue.
Our next project will be the restoration of the Great Arch, and one of the problems with the Great Arch is that it has this white bloom that you can see. In fact, you can see the contrast between the stone that has been cleaned and the white bloom where it hasn't been. And we're going to work through the whole Great Arch, cleaning the stucco, restoring the lamps and the ironwork, and the whole project. We don't have an estimate yet on the cost of that, but we are going to begin fundraising in 2016. We also want to focus on the steps, which are deteriorating. There are tens of thousands of people come in this door every year, tourists and local people, and it's a very important asset to the city of Santa Barbara. So that's why we want to take care of it.
We invite you to become engaged with our activities. The courthouse is a cultural center for the community. It's an architectural treasure, And your involvement, your engagement, and your support is really critical to enabling our mission and the courthouse to endure for future generations.